How we all getting along today? Well, just recently returned from float trip down one of the local rivers, the Platte. Did about 16 miles in a day. A couple buddies of mine. They finally bullied me in. I did get a kayak instead of the old Piro, but I was proven wrong. I was not eaten by a crocodile or a saber-toothed gar, and it did go over the waterfalls a little better and all that good stuff. But all that aside, it was a successful trip. Probably one of the best hauls of agate and petrified wood I've ever had in a day. You know, sometimes it takes me a year to find this much. But some of them in here are really interesting, and I'm going to be running these through the old Lotto tumble vibratory polisher. But I just wanted to give you all a view of them before we got started, just see how they come along. It's pretty neat banding in that. That one there, a lot of petrified wood, a lot of carnelian. Some pretty good size pieces of petrified wood. That's getting up there pretty good size. That's pretty uncommon. You know, stuff more like this size is what I'm used to. A lot of different colors of petrified wood. They're a nice little stick. You don't find those very often. On the carnelian, you know, that one is really neat. It's actually got some banding in it. From really dark to, you know, relatively light colored. But I think those are going to polish up absolutely beautiful. And I'll take you all along for the ride and we'll see how they turn out. Usually takes about a week to get them done in that vibratory tumbler. It's a heck of a lot faster than the polisher, and I did take some slices off the end of that just to look at the grain pattern. And same way with this little agate here. I sliced it up into several different little pieces just to see how it would turn out, and I was impressed. I think it'll be alright. Well, if any of you are out wandering around in Andrew County, we'll be set up in town there tomorrow at the little citywide garage sale. Lincoln Creek Creations will have specimens for sale and some fancy jewelry Mama made out of rocks. And hope to see y'all. Y'all have a good one. Some pretty cool ones in there. That one's got a really nice amber color to it, plus some banding in it. Got some odd shaped ones. They'll polish up. We'll see how they do. So I'm going to go ahead and get these loaded up. These are all relatively the same hardness, or if they're close enough I can at least start them out together, and then I'll kind of go from there, just see how they are. You always want to kind of classify them with hardness so they don't chew each other up. And we're going to toss all that in there. I'm going to load her up about 2/3 full. I give her a half of a cup of one of those cups of water, and we're going to get this thing started, see how they turn out. I have high hopes and expectations, and I usually am not disappointed, and I hope y'all won't be either. Yep. Should get it filled up. A lot of smaller stuff. That may be about a load there. Get much more and the darn lid starts popping off, and that ain't cool. I've never had to strap the lid on mine. I've seen some other people do that. I've never had to do it yet, but it's pretty much a catastrophe if it pops off and you don't catch it. All your rocks will dry out, and all that slurry you had made will turn into cement, and you'll never get it off them rocks. Alright, that is probably a few too much, but there we go. I'm happy with that, and if you all, we're going to get this thing started. Well, we've been running for about 3 days with our 120-220, so it's time to wash her out and see what we got here. Had a good paste going on. See if we can get them shook out there and get them washed up. Take a look at them. See if they're ready to move on or not. If they're ready to move on, next step would be with some 500. And if they ain't where I want them to be, we'll go back and do another round of the 120-220. But usually it'll knock her out in about 3 or 4 days. So we should be right where we want to be. Boy, muddied up that water pretty quick. You always want to make sure and clean your bowl out real good, and I'll actually clean that out with some fresh water before I get done here. Make sure there's nothing left in there. I wish I had a second one. I passed up a couple or missed a couple for sale, but they always wanted too much for them. I think a new one's going for about 75 bucks, and I just ain't gonna park that kind of money. I know, probably scratching them up a little bit, roughing them around in there, but they're not near done yet. As you get farther along, I get more careful. Yeah, these are going to need some real good scrubbing. May have to get the toothbrush after them, get some of that paste out of them nooks and crannies, but I'm going to pull her up out of here and let you see what we got. Now that's some pretty stuff right there. That nice little agate there I cut. That one's got some pretty color to it. I think that's that one I showed you before with the banding in it. Some of them still need a little bit more work. Oh, that one's going to be cool. Look at that. Got some good color to it. That one's got some cool stripes. A little bit of everything. That was a darn good haul for Petrified wood. I can't believe you found that much, but oh, that's going to look good. Some of them agates are looking good. Got a nice glow to them. You know, that's the best time I find hunting agates, and I don't know whether y'all probably already know that trick or not. But to go late in the afternoon like this, after that sun is not overhead, and them daggone things will just glow. You know, you can just see them sticking out on those sandbars. That's my little hunting trick. So if y'all wasn't already aware of that, try that sometime. Try it early in the morning or late in the evening, late in the afternoon, when that sun's starting to go down. I guess it's just got something to do with the different angle, but it sure makes a difference in finding them. Well, I'm not going to bore you with scrubbing these with the toothbrush and getting them cleaned up before I move on to the next stage. But I'd say probably a good 90% of these are ready to move on. So I'll get to scrubbing, and we'll get them back in the old tumbler and see how she turns out. And there's the old tumbler just shaking away. If y'all haven't checked out my video on the motor modification, you got to check that out. You can get a motor for one of these for 18 bucks. Be sure and check that out. There they are, just shaking away. This is the 500 grit. So it's been running for about a day. I'm going to go ahead and let it run the rest of the night before I pull that out of there. We'll see how they look tomorrow. Well, we've been running about 3 days with the 500 aluminum oxide. Got a good slurry going on in there, but now comes the fun part. And, you know, they starting to shine a little bit. So we're going to give them a good washing, see how we've come out. Kind of raining today, but found a dry spot here under the deck. Give her a good washing. Yeah. We'll give that a good washing out later. Make sure before we move on to the final polish that we get all the grit out of her. Don't want to take a step back with all the hard work and time we put into it. Well, there we go. Let's see what we got. I wish the lighting was better, but like I said, it's raining out. Got some pretty nice agate and petrified wood in there. That one's kind of cool. You got some good stripes going on. A couple of them that I cut. Just see how they turned out. Not too spectacular, but still not a bad day floating on the river. That one's kind of cool. Got some gold specks in it. Let's see what else we got down in there. Oh, well, I'm probably going to end up keeping that one. That is really cool. Yeah, that one's nothing spectacular, just a little piece of chert I think I threw in there. I didn't know that made it into the batch, but some of these chunks of petrified wood, after I scrub them up with a toothbrush and get all that slurry off of them, they're going to be pretty daggone nice. So these will make some nice specimens. Y'all haven't found out yet, check out Mama's Facebook channel there, or whatever you call it, page. I think she calls it Lincoln Creek Creations, where she's selling all of her pretty jewelry and what have you. So these will probably be on there sometime soon if you want to check them out. She usually keeps it posted where we're going to be next. Ain't making a living at it, but having fun. Well, I'm gonna get these washed up the rest of the way and put them in for the final polish. See you soon. Well, here we are, the moment we've been waiting for. It's been about 8 days since I started this run. Mainly petrified wood and agate. Getting her finished up, and I'm highly impressed how some of them turned out. That one's going to be really cool. I'm sure Mama can make something out of that one. That one's kind of neat. Got some nice banding in it. And some of this agate, you know, they just don't, the camera just don't do them justice. But I was highly impressed. Some of the petrified wood, you know, turned out really good. Good haul for this year floating down the river. That one's kind of cool. Got some stripes going in every which way. A little bit of everything in there. Some of the colors really came out different in these. That one there's got almost like a really deep, I don't know what you'd call that, reddish brown. That's kind of cool. They still need cleaned up some. I'll get on there and scrub on them with a toothbrush a little bit and finish them up. Throw them in with a little bit of soap and burnish them there. Run them one more time just to clean them up. But I'm totally happy. That one's kind of neat. Got little gold flakes in it. That was kind of a surprise. Wasn't sure how that was going to turn out. Yeah, that was pretty cool too. All in all, I'm pretty happy. Well, if y'all see anything you like, be sure and check out Mama's Facebook page there, Lincoln Creek Creations. She'll have some of these in there in sample boxes or specimen boxes. We usually throw a few different pieces in each box, and about $5. She's got a bunch of neat jewelry on there too if you want to check her out. Hey, and be sure and like and subscribe to my channel if you found it interesting. I've got a couple more projects going on. I'm getting ready to build me a new piece of shaping equipment. You might keep your eyes out for that. It's coming along pretty good. Still gathering pieces, but I think it's going to make my life a little easier and take a little less wear on my flat lap, doing, you know, repetitive things, shaping the same shapes over and over again. It'll come out a little bit better. Well, hope you all liked it. Be sure and give me the thumbs up. It makes me smile. Catch y'all later.